Hi, I'm Danny Day. I'm a game designer. I work at QCF Design, my own company, and generally I make games all day. The Global Game Jam was held at UCT this year, here in South Africa. We're going to try and get another node up in Joburg at the beginning of next year. I got involved with the Global Game Jam last year. We tried to get down to Cape Town because it was the first time that was held in South Africa at that point. But in the end, travel plans just didn't make it. So all the guys from QCF ended up sitting in my living room one long weekend coding away, and we sort of like participated via proxy. Made a small little game called 48 Hour War, which was really strange, and it didn't place because it wasn't an official entry, but we enjoyed ourselves and decided that we were definitely going to make it down this year. The game we made this year is called Who Dunnit. It's a sort of detective story, except backwards. You are the killer, because the theme this year was deception, so we took quite a while to come up with a game that really sort of deceives the player or has the player involved in deceiving the game itself. So in that vein, instead of being the detective trying to figure out what happened, you're the killer who has to confuse the detective and basically set up these lies. Well, yeah, the feedback that we've gotten so far is that the game is a really cool mechanic. People really like what we're doing with the character and how we've been focusing on you trying to have to figure out, as the player, what it is you need to do in order to make the lies work. So people like that kind of thinking behind the game. The process of trying to make a game in 48 hours is an exercise in trying not to sleep. The main, sort of your main concerns are trying to come up with a cool idea, and a lot of people rushed that. The Global Game Jam format is sort of, they give you sort of half an hour to an hour to try and brainstorm something, and what they try and do is they try and have as many ideas as possible on the individual level, and then people will pitch those ideas up in front of the everybody, up in front of the crowd, and people will join their individual teams or not. In the end, we sort of had a meltdown and had to come up with a different idea, and Who Dunnit actually took about 6 hours to come up with. So while most of the other teams were already starting to put together their basic code frameworks and trying to start on coding their engines, we were still sitting down around different pieces of paper, throwing them at each other and trying to come up with something that was really playable. The main thing is actually not trying to go to sleep. You have to keep going and know exactly what it is you're trying to get done in a specific time period. We'll definitely be taking part in the Global Game Jam next year, as both QCF and individuals. So if any of you are keen to join us, have a look at globalgamejam.com and look for the South African node. And maybe there'll be nodes up in Durban and Joburg at that point as well, so you won't have to come to Cape Town like we did.